The next story I want to talk about is Marvel Rivals is missing characters is a serious head scratcher. Now, we talked about this when they showed up the video last week, right? And I said, I don't care that, Penny Parker's in there, and I don't care that Magic's in there, or lesser known characters are in there. I'm always wondering, though, I was like, why isn't Wolverine there? Why isn't someone else there? And someone could be like, well, they're always there, but they're not. They're never there. Those characters never make it to the actual game until later on by the time the game, die. This game, to me, lives or dies just like any other Marvel game, okay? Any other, I should say, comic book game, by as many heroes or villains that you can either have, use, or fight. This article comes from Game Rant, and it says, Marvel Rivals missing characters are a serious head-scratcher. It says, Marvel Rivals is arriving on the scene, guns blazing, with the closed alpha test coming in May, and the trailer shows off a great deal of action-packed gameplay. Despite already having a strong start, one element of Marvel Rivals feels a bit confusing: its roster, okay? It says, in fairness, the roster is no slouch, right? Marvel Rivals roster is 18 characters, including heroes like Iron Man, Spider-Man, as well as the villains like Loki and Magneto. There's also some deeper cuts within the Marvel Rivals list of confirmed characters, such as Luna Snow, Magic, and also a roster of wide scope catered to Avengers, X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy fans. And naturally, the game will be receiving content updates that will bring new heroes and villains into the fray. Nonetheless, the game has a strange roster. Okay, again, this is no shade to Penny Parker. It's like you could have them in there, but add the other characters that people want to play as well, right? Instead of dangling them there as in the background, we could put Wolverine in the game, we could do it, we could put Cyclops in the game, we could put these characters in the game, but maybe you just gotta play and find out. Maybe you just gotta wait for 4 months or 6 months before we put them in. Right? Instead of putting them in and then putting other characters in. I said this last week. I was like, there's thousands and thousands of characters that you could put into a game, and yet you leave some of the biggest characters that people want to play that are well known, right? Nobody's going to the movies to watch a Penny Parker standalone film. No one's going to a major film to watch Squirrel Girl, okay? Squirrel Girl people know and like, but you can't, she's not a lead character, right? You would do another character, you would put her as a side character in a movie with other people that are known. Marvel Rivals roster has some glaring omissions, okay? It says most of the Rivals roster makes sense with heavy hitters like Black Panther, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Loki that have a huge culture weight thanks to MCU and other media. Marvel Rivals niche characters also are some great spice, appealing to hardcore fans and drawing new fans into the wider Marvel canon. However, there are some more of the few characters who would fit the title perfectly, just remain, just absent. Marvel Rivals is probably waiting for the future updates to add these options, but many of them would rather be sooner rather than later, okay? Some of the characters that we're missing from here is Captain America, right? Thor. Now, they said Thor is going to come, but later down the line. Black Widow. Black Widow, okay, is one of the most beloved characters, especially since the MCU with Scarlett Johansson playing her, all right? And she's not there, right? But yet you put a character that's oblivious to most people. They don't even know, who? Right? You got Hawkeye missing. You got Ant-Man missing. Ant-Man would be a cool character to put in there, right? Just think of his abilities where he can, grow and stuff, right? And the Wasp as well, right? That would be pretty cool, okay? It says, while Captain America is getting his own game with Marvel's 1943, that's no reason not to include the first Avenger in Marvel's Rivals, right? He literally is the first one, right? You make a perfect tank with a trusty shield, and which could double as a ranged option. Without mentioning, okay, all the potential for team attacks that come with it, many of which are shown off in the MCU. On the subject of Thor, it's also strange that character to skip. His lightning would also work as Iron Man, similar to Hulk's gamma ray, and also odd to have Loki in the game without his brother. Okay, so Black Widow and Hawkeye may also be mundane, but unique techs that also combine moves could also make them viable melee range options, respectively. Ant-Man and the Wasp could also be harder to work around due to their size-shifting abilities. However, Hulk has already set up the ability for Bruce Banner rather than his own character, as also shown in Marvel Rivals trailer. So Wasp and Ant-Man could also work similar. Though they also come in the MCU late, they're also a mainstay of the Avengers team in the comics and animated shows. Now, other ones that they're talking about for villains to put into the game, okay, they're talking about Green Goblin, they're talking about Venom, they're talking about Mysterio, they're talking about Hell, put Sinister in there as well, right? Marvel's iconic Rogue Gallery is also nearly as much representation as it deserves in the Marvel Rivals. Green Goblin in particular would be a great addition with the bombs and the glider, perfect match for the game's destructible environments. Venom would also be excellent, right? You could put there's so many characters you could put in Doc Ock. Can you imagine Doc Ock with all the arms and stuff? I mean, come on. Right? So similar to Mirage and also Apex Legends, perhaps. Also, would also finish off the siblings, the trio of Odin's children, while also having the strength of the Dark Mighty lead to some heavy DPS. Another character, right? Another character. Wolverine, Deadpool, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Winter Soldier, Captain Marvel. These characters, you look and go, why wouldn't they be in the game? Now, you can look at this and say that, well, these characters are all going to come. They're all going to come down the line because there's so many characters. But the problem is if the game is not successful, right? Let's just say it how it is. If Marvel Rivals comes out and it's a hot topic for that first week, month, whatever, and then it drops off, and then you don't see these characters, like just the top characters, right? Just these Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Wasp. Okay, let's say the game comes out in the alpha comes in May. Let's say it launches in like July or August or whatever. Okay, it comes out this year. If they have one character a month, okay, to add to this game, because look what Overwatch is doing. They don't add like 15 characters at a time. They're like, oh, here's one. Then 6 months later, they add another one, and over time, 6 years later, there's like 30 characters, right? But Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Wasp. That's 6 months. That's one a month to the thing. Then every time you add somebody, you have to like balance it. And then what happens is when you add a new character, everybody was going to go look at that and use that character because they want to know what it is. This is why this game needs more heroes at launch. Now, again, the game's not even out yet, right? The game's not even out yet. So we don't know what they're going to put into the game or not. But how do you not have Wolverine? Especially if this game's coming out this year, we have Deadpool movie coming out. Wolverine's in there, Deadpool's in there. They have X-Men coming out in theaters. Regardless if Marvel's included into this, and Marvel gave them the rights to use this, and you would think that Marvel would want to promote the things that they're coming out either on TV shows or movies or comic books or cartoons or whatever, cross-platform or cross-promotion with the characters that are in the game. Now, obviously, Captain Marvel just left the theater, so you're probably not going to put her in there, and she's not really a popular character, but she's a well-known character, and she would be a really cool character to use in this. Winter Soldier, same type of thing, right? If you're not gonna put Winter Soldier in the game before you put Captain Marvel in the, or I'm sorry, Captain America in the game, right? But Daredevil would be cool. Deadpool's coming out, you could put him in the game. Wolverine's coming out, right? So the game's coming out next year for the standalone that have wanted in the game since Marvel Rivals rumors began. Wolverine should be noted in particular here. He's definitely one of the most Marvel's biggest names. Deadpool and Moon Knight also share meme status, okay, and uplift them to fame to the pair of the identify to grab attention of NetEase over there. Now, they need to do, again, I know it's not even out yet. They're signing up for the early access or whatnot, but they only showed, the 18 characters? This game needs to launch with double that. And I said that last week when they first showed it. I said this game needs to double whatever they have. If they have 18, make it 36. Make it an even 40. Use what you have here in the Marvel brand, because you could literally drop in a whole group at one time. Instead of releasing one character at the same time, like if they did, right? If they did come out with, let's say, Ant-Man and Wasp, maybe they drop them both at the same time. Maybe they drop a whole group at the same time. Maybe they drop 4 players at the same time. That would be much more interesting than one a month, one every 6 months, right? I always find it weird that all these companies that have these Marvel IPs, the DC IPs, they like slow drip all of these characters, and they have the vast amount of characters they can use in the DC universe or the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel just universe, right? There's literally like 1,200 characters, 1,800 characters, and yes, some of them are obsolete and they're not popular, but at the same time, there's so many. There's like easily 200 characters that people would love. You could put the whole Guardians of the Galaxy team in here, okay, at one time. You could take Ant-Man and the Wasp. You could bring Shang-Chi in here. You could bring the Eternals in here. You could bring a whole bunch of characters, and it would be a lot better and more interesting if you could do that. But then again, this game is going to be a nightmare to balance because of all these characters, and maybe that's why they're not putting certain characters in, because they're like, well, this rock is too powerful for these scissors, right? These scissors are too powerful for this paper, right? Because that's what this game is. It's a rock, paper, scissors match of how do you get around and defeat these and balance them with each other. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Are you excited for Marvel Rivals to come out? Are you sad that they've only put the 18 characters? And what characters are you looking for them to put in this game at launch? Okay, not just the 18 characters. Let me know in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what we do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching.